I never meant to save a vampire child that night in the ER, but when his silver blood shimmered under hospital lights, everything changed. The hunters tracking us knew my name before I even understood what I'd stepped into, and now a vampire king with winter eyes guards me in his hidden sanctuary. A king whose skin burns at my slightest touch due to an ancient curse. When my hospital director revealed herself as the leader of a hunter cell, I realized I'd been working for the enemy all along, never suspecting the monsters weren't who I thought they were. Tonight, they're coming for us all, and I have to choose: run and save myself, or stand and fight for the immortal family I never knew I needed. If you've ever wondered what secrets hide in hospital shadows, drop a heart in the comments and subscribe to hear how my story ends. The ambulance bay doors slam open. I rush forward, gloved hands ready as the gurney wheels lock into place. Male, approximately 10 years old, severe blood loss, no responsive pupils, the paramedic reports, stepping back. My heart stops. The boy's skin glows alabaster under the harsh hospital lights. His veins trace silver blue beneath translucent skin. "Get me a trauma kit," I order, checking for a pulse. The beat beneath my fingertips stutters, weak and erratic. Nurse Ortega appears at my side with equipment. "BP dropping, Mara," she says, voice tight. "Start a line." I cut away the blood-soaked shirt, revealing a jagged wound across his chest. The blood looks wrong. It shimmers with metallic glints under the fluorescence, almost crystallizing at the edges. When I press a metal tray near the wound to catch drainage, I notice something impossible. The boy has no reflection. I blink, certain my exhausted mind is playing tricks after 12 hours on shift. "Standard protocols aren't working," Ortega whispers, eyes wide as the monitor flatlines. Ignoring protocol, I grab a pressure infuser and attach it directly to the IV bag. "Get me O negative," I command, performing chest compressions with my free hand. The blood flows in, and the boy's heart stutters back to life. His eyelids flutter, revealing irises the color of mercury. "Hold him stable," I say, reaching for sutures. "He's mine." The voice cuts through the emergency room chaos, deep and absolute. I turn to face a man standing in the shadows beyond the bay doors. He steps forward. Winter-pale eyes lock onto mine, unblinking and ancient. His face belongs in a Renaissance painting, all sharp angles and perfect proportions, framed by dark hair that falls just past his collar. "Sir, you can't be here," Ortega says, moving between us. "The boy requires specialized care." His words drop into the air with the weight of command. The overhead lights flicker in rhythm with his steps. I stand my ground. He needs stabilization before he goes anywhere. "I am Lucien Vale." He speaks each syllable precisely. "That child is Elias Vale, my ward and heir. I don't care if you're the King of England. He doesn't leave until he's stable." I turn back to the boy. The security cameras in the corner buzz and distort. Ortega sways slightly, her face going slack. Heavy footfalls echo down the corridor. Multiple sets. "Dr. Silva sent security," Ortega whispers. Lucien moves with impossible speed, positioning himself at my back. His breath brushes my ear, raising goosebumps along my neck. "Don't talk." He pulls me behind a fire door just as 3 men in tactical gear sweep past the trauma bay. One carries what looks like a modified rifle with ultraviolet bulbs mounted on the barrel. My fingers still press against the boy's, Elias' wrist, monitoring his thready pulse. Lucien covers us both with a dark cloak, masking our scent. "What's happening?" I mouth the words without sound. Lucien shakes his head once, sharply. We move in the spaces between the hunter's search pattern, his body shielding mine. One hunter pauses, lifting a scanner. It beeps as it passes over my hospital ID badge. "Got a name," he mutters into a radio. "Mara Keene, EMT." My blood freezes. How do they know to look for us? Why are they hunting a child? Elias stirs beneath my hands, his silver eyes opening briefly. Blood seeps through the temporary bandage. "He needs a transfusion now," I whisper. Lucien nods, guiding us toward a supply closet. Inside, I grab transfusion equipment, working quickly. "I'm O negative," I say, rolling up my sleeve. "Universal donor." "You would give your blood to him?" Lucien asks, genuine surprise breaking through his icy demeanor. "I'm an EMT. Saving lives is what I do." I create a jury-rigged transfusion line from my arm to the boy's. As I work, my wrist accidentally grazes Lucien's hand. He flinches but doesn't pull away. Where my skin touches his, smoke curls upward. The scent of burning flesh fills the small space. "You're burning," I gasp. "It doesn't matter." His voice remains steady despite the pain etched across his face. The boy's color improves as my blood enters his system. His eyes flutter open, focusing on me with strange clarity. "We need to move," Lucien says, wrapping the boy carefully. "How?" "They're everywhere." Lucien studies me, making a decision. "Do you trust fire drills?" I nod, understanding immediately. I reach up and pull the alarm. Sprinklers activate throughout the corridor, creating a steam curtain. We run, Lucien carrying Elias while I lead the way toward the loading dock. The exit doors loom ahead. Freedom waits just beyond. A figure steps from the shadows, raising what looks like a flare gun. Ultraviolet light glints off the barrel. Lucien pushes me behind him, taking the full blast of UV light across his back. His skin sizzles, but he remains standing, shielding both me and the boy. A black SUV screeches to a halt at the loading dock. The driver's window lowers, revealing a hard-faced man with vigilant eyes. "Rafe," Lucien acknowledges, hurrying us forward. We pile into the vehicle, me, Lucien, Elias, as sirens wail in the distance. "Ortega?" I ask, looking back. "She'll misdirect them," Lucien says. "She's been loyal for generations." The SUV peels away from the hospital. I check Elias again, relieved to find his pulse stronger. His eyes open. He looks directly at me, recognition dawning. "She's safe," he whispers, reaching for my hand. His small fingers close around mine, and something clicks into place. A connection forms, unexpected and immediate. Lucien watches the exchange, his expression unreadable. "What have I stepped into?" I ask, reality crashing down as the adrenaline fades. "A war," Lucien answers simply. "One you've now joined, whether you intended to or not." Elias doesn't release my shirt hem, holding tight as if afraid I'll disappear. "Where are we going?" "Sanctuary," Lucien says, looking straight ahead. "The only safe place left in this city." The streets blur past as we race through the night, leaving everything I know behind. The townhouse rises between abandoned storefronts, its windows boarded and facade crumbling. Rafe pulls into an alley and kills the engine. "This is Sanctuary?" I ask, doubt creeping into my voice. Lucien steps out, carrying Elias. Appearances deceive. We approach a weathered door with strange symbols etched into the frame. Lucien touches the center marking, and light ripples across the wood. The door swings inward, revealing an interior that defies the building's exterior. Polished hardwood floors stretch beneath a vaulted ceiling. Stained glass filters the security lights into jeweled patterns. "Welcome to Vale House," Lucien says. As we cross the threshold, my pendant, a simple silver disc my grandmother left me, tingles against my skin. The door seals behind us with a sigil that pulses once. Rafe takes Elias from Lucien's arms. I'll prepare the infirmary. Wait. I follow them down a corridor. I need to finish treating him. "You've done enough," Lucien says, his tone final. I plant my feet. "I stabilized him. I started treatment. I'm seeing it through." Something flickers in Lucien's eyes. Surprise, perhaps even respect. "Very well. One night of witness care," he concedes. "Then you walk." The infirmary occupies the basement level, equipment both ancient and modern filling the space. Medieval surgical tools hang beside digital monitors. Blood bags chill in a medical refrigerator. I help settle Elias on a bed. His small hand refuses to release my shirt. He trusts you, Rafe observes, preparing suture materials. Children often attach to their rescuers, I say, checking Elias's vitals. Vampire children rarely trust humans, Lucien counters, keeping his distance. The word lands between us. Vampire, said aloud, undisguised. Is that what you are? I ask, voice steady despite my racing heart. You already know the answer, Lucien says. You saw the reflection, the silver in his blood. I focus on cleaning Elias's wound. The hunters at the hospital. Silva leads them, Rafe interrupts. Your hospital director. Cold shock washes through me. Dr. Silva? Lucien nods. A hunter cell operates within your hospital. I need to call my sister. Panic rises as I think of Talia, 15 and alone in our apartment. If they know my name, no calls, Lucien says sharply. My sister is all I have. I step toward him, fear turning to anger. If you think I'll abandon her, one text, he finally says. Coded, nothing traceable. I compose a message to Talia. Working double shift, stay at Jen's, code blackout. Our emergency protocol. Go to our neighbor, tell no one where you are. Lucien watches me send it. She's important to you. She's everything, I answer simply. Later, I wash blood from my hands in a porcelain sink. The mirror above it reflects the room, and only the room. Lucien stands behind me, invisible in the glass. I turn, studying him. How old are you really? 317, he answers without hesitation. And Elias? 10, both in appearance and years. He maintains careful distance. Vampire children age normally until maturity. I notice a security monitor on the wall. The screen shows Dr. Silva entering my emergency room, flanked by 2 men I don't recognize. They're looking for me, I whisper. For us, Lucien corrects. You're merely a witness. I catch sight of a heavy bolt on the infirmary door. Memory flashes. Another locked door. Another man who insisted he was protecting me. My breath hitches. Lucien follows my gaze. Without comment, he crosses the room and slides the bolt open, then pushes the door wide. You are not a prisoner, he says quietly. The gesture touches something deep within me. I nod once, acknowledging what he's done. Morning light seeps through basement windows covered in special film. Elias sleeps peacefully, his wound clean and healing with supernatural speed. Rafe enters with coffee. You should rest. I need information first, I insist. What happens now? Now we discuss terms, Lucien says from the doorway. Sanctuary terms. Rafe outlines their ground rules. I've seen too much to simply leave. Hunters know my name. My workplace is compromised, but I'm not a captive. Silva's authority gives her access to your records, your apartment, your routine, Rafe explains, pulling up camera feeds of uniformed men entering my building. My sister is safer away from you right now, Lucien interrupts. We'll ensure her protection. I notice Elias watching me, his silver eyes intent. He clutches a drawing pad, sketching rapidly. What are you drawing? I ask gently. He turns the page. A crude but recognizable sketch of me, surrounded by light. She's bright, he whispers to Lucien. Like you said. Confusion crosses my face. What does that mean? Lucien takes the drawing. It means you'll be safer inside these walls. For how long? I demand. I have a life, responsibilities. Your life is in danger, he says, voice hard. Your responsibility now is survival. My temper flares. You don't dictate my responsibilities. Then choose, Lucien challenges. Tomorrow at nightfall, we invoke the sanctuary sigil. Make an oath or walk away. And if I walk? His gaze holds mine, unyielding yet somehow pained. Then we cannot protect you. Evening settles over the townhouse. I explore carefully, finding a library filled with volumes centuries old. Rafe watches from a respectful distance. "How long have you served him?" I ask. 180 years, Rafe answers, "since he found me dying on a battlefield." "And the boy?" "Elias is the last of the old bloodline. The heir." Rafe's expression softens. "Lucien took him in after his parents were killed by hunters." I process this. "You all act like I'm significant somehow." "You gave your blood to save our heir," Rafe says simply. "That makes you significant." At midnight, Elias screams from nightmares. I reach his side before the others, cradling his small hand. "You're safe," I whisper, echoing his earlier words to me. He calms immediately, eyes fixing on me with ancient clarity. "You'll stay." It isn't a question. Lucien appears in the doorway, watching our interaction with troubled eyes. "He needs stability," I say, medical training asserting itself. "And you need protection," Lucien counters. "Tomorrow's oath would provide both." I stand, approaching him. "What exactly would this oath require?" "Silence, neutrality, safe passage within our walls." His voice lowers. "Your choice will be respected, regardless." Our eyes lock. Something electric passes between us. "And what does it cost?" I ask. "Nothing you aren't willing to give." A hidden alarm pulses suddenly, a soft, rhythmic light on the wall panel. Lucien tenses, head turning toward the sound. "What is it?" I ask, moving instinctively closer to Elias. Rafe checks a monitor. "Someone probes the wards." "Who?" I whisper. Lucien's face hardens into a mask of cold authority. "Someone who knows you're here." Lucien moves to the security panel, fingers dancing across controls. "Perimeter breach attempt. Eastern wall." "Hunters?" I ask, standing protectively near Elias. "Not yet." Lucien's eyes narrow at the monitor. "Just testing our defenses." Rafe appears with curved blades strapped to his forearms. "I'll check the outer wards." After he leaves, silence stretches between us. Elias drifts back to sleep, his small hand still clutching mine. "The oath ceremony," I begin. "What does it involve?" Lucien turns from the monitors. "Candlelight, witnessed vows, ink that bonds to intent." "Blood magic?" "No." His lips curve slightly. "Blood is too easily corrupted." I study him across the dim room. "Why does my touch burn you?" Pain flashes across his face. "A consequence of broken vows." "You broke your word?" "I broke an ancient oath to save innocent lives." His voice carries centuries of regret. "The Sun Oath demands absolute separation between vampire and human realms." "And your punishment is pain?" I ask softly. "My punishment is distance." His eyes meet mine. "No human touch without consequences." Understanding dawns. "That's why you stay away from Elias when I'm near him." He nods once, sharply. The boy stirs, murmuring in sleep. Instinctively, I smooth his hair. "You comfort him easily," Lucien observes. "Children respond to gentle hands," I say, memories of my sister surfacing, especially after trauma. "You speak from experience." I don't answer, but my silence confirms his suspicion. Morning arrives with Rafe's return. Perimeter secure. Just probing, not attacking. Elias wakes fully, his wound nearly healed. He watches me with solemn eyes. "You'll take the oath," he says with certainty. "I haven't decided," I reply, changing his bandages. "You already decided." He touches my pendant. "It recognized you." Before I can question him, Ortega's text arrives. "Silva asked for your schedule. Don't come back." My world narrows to this message. Everything I've built, my career, my independence, threatened with 6 simple words. When night falls again, I stand in the library as Rafe arranges candles in a circle. The flame light throws shadows across ancient volumes and weathered spines. The sanctuary's sigil is simple, Rafe explains. Silence about our existence, neutrality in vampire conflicts, safe passage within these walls. And my freedom? I challenge. Respected, Lucien promises, entering the room. The oath binds us more than you. The ceremony takes minutes. I repeat ancient words, their meaning clear despite the archaic language. Rafe marks a sigil on my wrist with ink that glows briefly before fading into my skin. It's done, Lucien confirms. For 48 hours, you remain under sanctuary protection. Only 48 hours? You requested terms. His eyes meet mine. I respect boundaries. The sigil warms my skin rather than burning. I touch it, wondering at the sensation. Why doesn't it hurt me when your touch burns you? The oath accepts your intent, Lucien explains. You harbor no malice toward us. A hidden alarm pulses again. Someone probes the wards. They're persistent, Rafe mutters, checking monitors. They know I'm here, I realize. Because of the hospital cameras. Lucien nods grimly. Silva has resources. The night deepens. I help in the infirmary, monitoring Elias while organizing medical supplies. The work calms me, provides purpose. Lucien watches from the doorway, maintaining careful distance. You said you broke an oath to save lives, I say, breaking the silence. What happened? He remains still for so long, I think he won't answer. A village burned, he finally says. Hunters targeted vampire allies. I intervened when the Sun Oath demanded I remain neutral. You saved humans at your own expense. I chose mercy over protocol. His voice holds no regret, despite the consequence. The curse followed immediately. How long have you lived with it? 143 years. He flexes his hand. The pain reminds me of priorities. Does nothing ease it? I ask. Distance. He steps back as if demonstrating. And purpose. Later, in the library, I find records of Lucien's consort, a vampire queen who ruled beside him before the curse. She left when his condition prevented their closeness. Loss sits in the spaces between words, mirroring my own past grief. Morning brings Rafe with disturbing news. A security still shows Dr. Silva shaking hands with a pale, elegant vampire in the hospital sub-basement. Seren? Lucien identifies him, jaw tight. A rival with ancient grievances. I study the image. That door number, it's where ambulances restock supplies. If hunters hide gear there, Lucien begins. They'll stage from that bay, I finish. We need to check it. Too dangerous. Lucien's tone brooks no argument. I stand my ground. I know that space. I can move through it without suspicion. Absolutely not. You can't order me, I remind him. The oath promises my autonomy. Frustration crosses his face. Your safety is my choice, I interrupt. I'll go with Rafe. His expression darkens. If you insist on risking yourself, I cannot stop you. The hospital parking garage feels foreign now. Rafe shadows me as I walk with purpose toward the ambulance bay. Act normal, he murmurs. You belong here. The restock area appears empty, but Rafe tenses. UV residue, recent. I check beneath vehicles, finding a slim electronic device taped under my usual ambulance. Remote detonator, Rafe confirms, carefully disabling it. My badge pings the network as we finish. An intercom crackles overhead. EMT Mara Keene, please report to administration. Silva's voice, smooth and professional. Time to leave, Rafe says urgently. Hunters flood the bay suddenly. We push a gurney between them, heads down. A red laser sight skims my throat. I duck into linen storage, heart hammering against my ribs. A hand covers my mouth from behind. I struggle until I recognize the scent. Lucien, here, despite his own prohibition. You followed us, I accuse when he releases me. Of course I did. Irritation and concern war in his voice. We press against the wall as footsteps pass outside. My cheek accidentally touches his palm. Smoke curls from the contact, but he doesn't pull away. "You're burning," I whisper. "Your safety matters more." The admission hangs between us, shifting something fundamental. A silver trap snaps around Lucien's forearm as we edge toward the exit. The metal hisses against his skin, barbs digging deep. Without thinking, I grip the burning trap, wrenching it free. Pain sears my palms as silver-infused metal blisters my skin. Lucien stares at my burned hands in horror. "You shouldn't have—" "Shut up!" I grit out through pain. "We need to move." We slip through the laundry chute to the parking level where Rafe waits with the car. As we pull away, the rear-view camera activates. On the screen, Seren steps into the bay, smiling directly at the camera. "He knew we were coming," Lucien says grimly. Back at the townhouse, Rafe treats my burned hands. The blisters already fade, healing with unnatural speed. "The oath accelerates healing," Lucien explains, watching from the doorway. "Convenient," I mutter, flexing my fingers. "Why did you grab that trap?" he demands suddenly. "You could have lost your hands." "Why did you follow us when you ordered me not to go?" I counter. We glare at each other, mutual frustration palpable. "I need to see Talia," I say, changing tactics. "My sister needs to know I'm safe." Surprise crosses Lucien's face. "You're not demanding to leave permanently?" "The hunters know my name," I acknowledge reluctantly. "I can't go home yet." Relief flickers across his features. "I'll arrange a neutral meeting. A church courtyard, perhaps." "Will you come?" I ask without planning to. His eyes meet mine. "Would you want me to?" "Yes," I answer honestly. "I would." The church courtyard bathes in evening light when Talia arrives with our neighbor. My sister runs to me, throwing her arms around my waist. "You disappeared," she accuses, voice muffled against my shirt. "I'm sorry," I whisper into her hair. "It wasn't safe to call." She steps back, eyeing Lucien and Rafe suspiciously. "Who are they?" "Friends," I say simply. "They're protecting me." Talia studies Lucien with teenage directness. "He looks like a sad statue." A surprised laugh escapes me. Lucien's mouth twitches in what might be amusement. "I need you to stay with Mrs. Chen a little longer," I explain gently. Talia's eyes narrow. "Are you in trouble?" "Just being careful." I squeeze her hand. 2 more days, then we'll figure things out." She nods with the resilience of a child who has faced too many disruptions. A mechanical hum disrupts our conversation. Above the courtyard, a small drone hovers, its camera lens focusing on our group. The red light on its underside blinks once. "Inside," Lucien commands sharply. "Now." Rafe moves with inhuman speed, launching a throwing blade that pierces the drone's camera. The device spirals downward, smoking. I pull Talia close as the church lights flicker ominously. "We need to leave," Lucien orders. "Separate directions. Silent dispersal." Talia clutches my hand. "What's happening?" "Nothing to worry about," I lie smoothly. "Just a precaution." I walk between Lucien and my sister, one hand in hers, the other reaching back toward him without touching. "Mrs. Chen will drive you home," I tell Talia, keeping my voice steady. "I'll call tomorrow." She studies my face, too perceptive for her 15 years. "Promise?" "Promise." I hug her tightly, then watch her leave with our neighbor. As their car pulls away, Rafe spots something on the church step, a small black disc that gleams in the fading light. "Obsidian coin," Lucien identifies it, jaw tight. "Serene's calling card." I pick it up, curious. The coin warms against my palm, and to my horror, begins etching my initials into its surface. "Drop it." Lucien knocks it from my hand. "It's a tracking mark." "What does it mean?" I ask as we hurry toward our car. "It means he's chosen you specifically," Rafe explains grimly. "Not just as leverage against us." Back at the townhouse, preparations intensify. Blackout cloth covers windows. Lucien outlines evacuation routes while Rafe distributes weapons. If we're separated, Lucien instructs, rendezvous at the sea stairs. I memorize the location on the map. And Elias? Your priority, Lucien says. Get him through the tunnels. We practice ward phrases, ancient words I struggle to pronounce correctly. Shield of night, guard of blood, I repeat after Lucien. Better, he approves. Again. Hours blur together. Rafe tests the perimeter, triggering a single ward bell that makes everyone freeze. Just a test, he assures us. Systems functioning. Tension builds with each passing hour. In the kitchen, I snap at Lucien when he suggests I rest. Stop treating me like I'll break, I demand. I've survived worse than hunters. His eyes narrow. What exactly have you survived, Mara Keene? The question hits too close to buried pain. None of your business. Everything about you is my business now, he counters. You're inside my sanctuary, influencing my heir, risking my people. Fury rises hot and fast. I saved your heir. I burned my hands for you. Stop acting like I'm a liability you're forced to protect. You think that's what this is? Genuine anger flashes across his face. That I resent protecting you? Don't you? I'm terrified of touching you. The admission explodes from him. Terrified of losing control, of the curse weakening because of how I... He stops abruptly, turning away. Small footsteps interrupt the charged silence. Elias stands in the doorway, silver eyes wide. You're both safe, he says simply, placing his small hand atop mine. Stop fighting. The simplicity of his statement deflates our anger. Lucien's shoulders relax marginally. We should prepare the medical supplies, I suggest, a peace offering. Lucien nods once. I'll help. The silence between us shifts from hostile to companionable as we work together, maintaining careful distance. Ortega's emergency message arrives near dawn. They're moving tonight. We increase patrols. Rafe takes me on a supply run for additional blood bags, using a decoy car with darkened windows. Turn here, he directs as we approach the hospital's secondary entrance. Headlights flash in the rearview mirror. Metal screams as something rams us from behind. The impact throws me forward. Safety glass shatters across the dashboard. The car spins, tires squealing against wet pavement. Lucien appears suddenly beside the wrecked vehicle, wrenching my door open. Are you hurt? Before I can answer, a silver dart whistles through the air, embedding itself in his shoulder. He staggers but remains standing. Go! Rafe shouts, engaging with shadowy figures emerging from an unmarked van. I drag Lucien into a narrow alley between buildings. Rain begins falling, washing blood down his arm where the dart protrudes. Silver nitrate, he grunts. It needs to come out. I press my still-healing hand to the dart and snap it, pulling the shaft free. Our breath synchronizes with the effort, faces close in the darkness. Why did you come yourself? I ask as sirens Doppler past our hiding place. His eyes meet mine. You know why. The admission sits between us, unspoken but understood. A voice carries over the rain. Run, little light. Siren's musical tones send ice through my veins. We reach the townhouse as darkness falls completely. Rafe arrives minutes later, clothes torn and bloody. 6 hunters, he reports, heavily armed. We barely have time to regroup before the first UV charges detonate against the outer wards. They pop like miniature stars, illuminating the townhouse in harsh, burning light. They're here, Lucien says, unnecessary but grim. Hunters pour through the weakened barrier, UV rifles raised. I grab Elias with one hand and reach for Talia, who arrived minutes earlier for evacuation. The tunnel, I tell them. Stay together. We move toward the basement as Rafe holds the staircase. Lucien fights in the foyer, his movements a blur of lethal precision despite burns already marking his skin. The tunnel entrance lies behind a false wall in the infirmary. I count beats between hunter footfalls, timing our dash across exposed space. I push Elias ahead of me, Talia following close behind. The gate grinds open, ancient mechanisms protesting. Go, I urge them. The gate jams halfway, metal screaming against stone. Elias stumbles, caught on the wrong side of the narrowing gap. Talia, through now! I shove my sister into the tunnel. Mara, she protests. I'll get Eli, I promise. Keep going straight until you reach the marker. I crawl back under sparks showering from damaged electrical panels. Elias reaches for me, terror in his silver eyes. I've got you, I assure him, working the jammed mechanism. A hunter appears in the doorway, UV rifle raised. I headbutt his visor when he grabs me, the impact sending pain exploding through my skull. The gate finally gives. I push Elias through the gap, hearing Lucien roar my name from somewhere above. A sound like a vow, like thunder. I turn to follow when cold fingers close around my throat. The king's new pet, Seren purrs, lifting me effortlessly. How interesting. His face holds inhuman beauty, marble-perfect features framed by platinum hair. His eyes gleam obsidian black. He tosses me aside like a doll. I slam into medical equipment, pain exploding along my spine. The boy, he calls toward the tunnel. Come out, little prince, or watch her die. Elias hesitates at the tunnel entrance. I shake my head frantically. Run! Seren steps through dissipating smoke, lifting a UV flare toward the half-open tunnel where Elias stands frozen. Something breaks inside me, fear transmuting into rage. I launch myself at Seren, raising my burned hand to his wrist. The contact sears us both. He hisses, momentarily distracted. Lucien hits him from the blind side, driving him away from the tunnel entrance. To shield me fully, Lucien makes an impossible choice. He grips my hand directly, skin to skin, inviting the full force of his curse. Light sears between our joined hands. The curse activates, burning brighter than the UV flares, and then shatters completely. The shockwave throws hunters backward. Their leader screams as the backwash of broken magic washes over him. Seren staggers, raising his flare in desperate defense. Rafe appears behind him, driving a blade between his shoulders. The flare drops from Seren's hand, igniting his own clothing. He burns, screaming curses in ancient languages. Elias! I gasp, turning toward the tunnel. Safe, Lucien confirms, still holding my hand. Unburned, the curse broken. Later, in the infirmary, Rafe treats our various injuries. Silva has vanished, he reports. The hunter cell scattered after their leader fell. Lucien hasn't released my hand. His touch feels warm, natural, unburnt. The curse, I begin hesitantly. Broken, he confirms, wonder in his voice, when protection became sacrifice. What happens now? I ask, looking between him and Elias, who refuses to leave my side. Now we rebuild, Lucien says simply. Together, if you choose. 2 weeks pass in a blur of healing and adjustments. Talia moves into a guest room, initially suspicious but quickly warming to Elias and his quiet ways. On the sea stairs that descend to a private beach behind the townhouse, Lucien and I watch the sunrise together. The sky blazes orange and pink, clouds rimmed with gold. He kneels suddenly, taking both my hands in his. Mara Keene. Yes? My heart stutters in my chest. I name you Keeper of the Crown, he says formally. Guardian to Elias, partner to me, if you accept. The weight of the title settles around me, fitting perfectly. I accept. His smile transforms his face, erasing centuries of solitude. We walk back to the townhouse hand in hand, finding Talia and Elias already arguing in the kitchen. Chocolate chips do not belong in pancakes, Talia insists. They absolutely do, Elias counters, sounding like the child he is for once. Normal Sunday morning? I ask, leaning against Lucien. The first of many, he promises. I reach for his hand in full morning light, our fingers interlacing naturally. His skin against mine feels only warm, the curse transformed into sanctuary.